Hello, good morning. It's Wednesday. I'm on my way to the market. The van is warm. It's fully loaded. Uh, Weather's looking okay today. It's cooled down a little bit. Kids are back at school, so the holidays are over. I thought I'd do a little bit of a different video today. It's not going to be too long. Basically, I'm just going to get to the market and then going to get set up. Got a new special on today, actually. I'll just tell you about that quickly. It is Pizza Bianca, so it doesn't. Sorry, my van's making a weird noise. So it's pizza bianca. So it doesn't have any sauce on this one. It's just got it kicks lights up. So I open the base, lay down my filo di latte mozzarella, some pecorino. This one gets some portobello mushrooms, thinly sliced, just thinly sliced mushrooms. They're not pre-cooked. And I've got an optional hit of a pork and apple sausage, which I pre-cooked at home yesterday and crumbled it up. So that goes on it, and a little truffle dust. It's little like it's kind of like freeze dried or dried truffle that's made into like a really fine dust. It's amazing. It can pimp loads of stuff. So a little bit of truffle dust. That gets baked out of the oven. It gets finished with a vintage truffled cheddar as well. So it's like a cheddar that's got some black summer truffle mixed through it. So I'm going to grate some of that on it. That one's going to be, it's going to be quite rich. It's going to be punchy, going to be shroomy, earthy. It's going to be amazing. So that's the special today. Never done that one before. Done sort of variations of it. What I was going to do, I'll show you that pizza, and I'm going to take you through like my stretching method a little bit. So like what I'm doing, like getting the pizza onto the peel, off the peel, and then actually baking it in the oven using the turning peel, showing you what I'm doing as I'm doing it, kind of like what I'm looking for, at what point, like why I'm shielding the pizza with the peel, things like that. So that kind of like how I bake the pizza essentially from start to finish. So we'll go through that. I'll slow it down a little bit. I'll do a couple with the slap method to slow that one down for you because a lot of people want to kind of learn that one. There's a few different ways of doing it, but it's just the most sort of efficient way of opening a dough ball as far as I'm concerned. So right, I'm going to drop it down into the gear and we're going to get going. So let's go. Yo, okay, so I'm in the van. I'm fully set. Everything's ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I take dough ball out of the tray. A lot of you would have seen this loads. Generally, when I'm doing it, I'm sort of doing it in service, and you probably can't see it. I know I have sort of covered this before, but it's kind of like almost like a follow-on from my dough making video. So like we're basically I gave away my entire process, the exact dough that I've made here today. If you want to see it, then check it out just up here. And basically, it's that dough in that video. I'm in my home kitchen making it with my smaller mixer. Same principles apply with that dough, making it by hand, exactly the same. And it's all about consistency for me. And so every time I come to the market, generally I have like I want my customers to come up and get the same experience every time. So the same dough. So let me flip you around. I'll show you the dough that I'm working with and explain it to you. So this is 61.5% hydration, which means there is 615 grams of water per kilo of flour used. Now, in that same dough recipe, I've used two different flours. I've actually used about 15% of the stronger one in this one, and you can see it's got these little flecks in it, and that's basically the stronger flour. That's the grain in the stronger flour showing through. What I'm going to do is I'm going to... Hello. Hi. Sorry, 1 second. What can I get you?
Can we have one margarita?
Yep, sure. Sorry, I was just filming for YouTubey stuff. Right, margarita, yeah?
Can we say hi?
Yeah, if you want, yeah. Say hi. This is good. It's not live yet. Let me say hi. Hi, what's your name and where you come from?
Bella from Hartford.
There you go.
Eloise also from Hartford.
There we go. That's my lovely customers. Right, okay, so let's do this. So yeah, enjoy. Thank you very much. Take care, yeah? Bye-bye. Okay, back to it. There you go. Customers, breakfast pizza. What time is it? Oh, it's 20 past 10. I am ready to go. So anyway, okay, so I'm going to show you this. Let me find a spot to put you. Tell you what, this is magnetic. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to stick you up here. It's going to be a bit of a weird angle to begin with. But there you go. Right, so we're just going to turn that oven down. So what we got here, I was just telling you, this is the dough. This is 61.5% hydration. Just going to take the lid off And what we're going to do is I'm going to show you cutting out one of these dough balls, okay? So what we do is we get some of the flour. This is a semolina. It's a very fine semolina flour, okay? And so what I do is I'm going to go for this one just here. I'm going to put a little bit down each edge, okay? And what we do, this is a cutter. This is a Lily Quadroipo. That was a bit of a tang. This is a Lily Quadroipo pizza cutter. It's a 10 centimeter pizza cutter, okay? The one with the yellow handle. So you can use any plastic ones, anything like that. You can go to a hardware store and get some kind of like wall scraper or something like that. Just make sure it's stainless steel. Sorry, there is a saxophone that started up. So I'm going to get down this edge. I'm going to bring you down actually because the lighting is a bit weird. And I'm going to spin it around and see if I can spin this around. Okay, so what we've got here, this dough ball, we're going for this one here. So I've got down this edge and I just cut it out. Okay, and then we get this one here. And we just slide the cutter in and we slice it down. Same with this one. And we move it backwards and forwards just to make sure it's separated from that dough ball. Now we see all this flour here, that's all good. We want that there, okay? And what we're going to do, because you don't want to push this dough ball under itself. So we're just going to make sure we get the spatula underneath, slide it underneath. And when we're underneath, we're just going to lift it up. And you see that we've got the dough ball up in one movement. Now I'm just going to put that there. I'm going to put the lid back on the dough balls so it doesn't dry out. And I'm going to place you just here. So we're going to spin this around so I can see what I'm doing. Okay. So we're just here, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bunch of flour. Like, don't worry about using a lot at this stage, okay? And we're going to turn the dough ball upside down into the flour. Now, this is the bottom of the dough ball that was in the tray, and this is going to be the bottom of our pizza, okay? I always top the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get flour all around the dough ball, and I'm just going to push it back into a round. So at this point, if you've got your dough ball out of your... at this point, if you've got your dough ball out of your tray and it's gone slightly square, because obviously the lines, they meet each other, or it's a bit of a weird shape, then don't worry about it, because this is your opportunity to just basically push it back into a round. But you don't want to mess with it too much, because you don't want to fold it in on itself or anything like that, because essentially it's like bread. You'll re-strengthen the gluten the more you mess with it. So now that's kind of round. So I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to do the same, and I've just got this really nice round shape. And what I'm going to do, and the way I'll do it, and the way I teach people when I do classes, is I think of a little smiley face. You've got the little smiley face just here, okay? And we're going to take 3 fingers from each hand, these 3, and they're going to form the sides of the smiley face. Okay, so we're going to push, push, push to the top, and we're going to stop there until we've got about a finger's width of crust. And then I'm just going to use this 3rd finger to work down the dough ball to the bottom, and I'm going to push back up again. When I get to this point, I'm just going to splay my fingers out a little bit, and you see we've formed this really nice sort of parameter, this really nice rim that's quite even. Don't worry if it's not too even. And so we've done the top, so I need to do the other side. A lot of pizza makers will flip this over at this point, but I don't like to do that. I just like to spin it round. So what I do is I pick it up and I spin it round. And now we do the same. We work up from the bottom, make that little perimeter, that crust. Okay? You can put your hand around the edge to sort of guide it, as it were, and just form that crust. Okay? And now I can fit my hand in it. We're ready to slap it out. So what this motion is you want to have this hand, I'm right-handed, okay, so I slap down with my right and I catch with my left. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually just going to pick the dough ball up, and what I'm doing is I'm just turning my hand over and I'm taking the dough with it, okay? So literally it's this movement, okay? And what I'm doing is the bit of crust there that I'm going to pick up, I'm placing it onto my wrist, okay? So I'm getting my hands underneath it, so just thumb across one side, fingers underneath, and try not to crush that crust, okay? And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to turn it over and bring it with it, okay? And I'm just going to rest there. All of this flour needs to go away. So I'm going to get rid of all of that excess, okay? So we don't want any. So we want to get rid of any flour that's on this. So I'm going to put my hand at a 90-degree angle, and I'm going to slam it down, okay? And at that point, just literally slam it down. At that point, we're where we started just a minute ago when we turned it back onto our wrist. So I'm just going to put my thumb across, give it a little tug, and then I'm going to turn my hand over again, and this bit's going to go back onto my wrist, like that. So we've given it a quarter a turn. So now what I'm doing, I'm just slamming it down, give a little tug, like this. And when you get better, you can just speed up, okay? And there we have a really nice round base ready to be topped. So what we're going to do, we're going to make today special, okay? This pizza is actually going to be for my wife, so she didn't want too much sausage on it. So here we go. She doesn't like too much sausage. So there we go, we've got cheese. That's our fio di latte mozzarella. We have our pecorino. Good amount of the pecorino to give it a nice punch, okay? Just gonna clean my hands. You should always do pecorino first, actually, because otherwise it clings to your hands. But hey, I didn't. Then we're gonna get our mushrooms. So these are thinly sliced portobello mushrooms, and we're just gonna place them around nicely. These aren't pre-cooked. Portobello mushrooms, they haven't got a lot of liquid in them. They're quite meaty, but if you cut them thin, they're absolutely fine. And then I've got this. This is a truffle dust from the Truffle Guys. So this is just gonna go around the pizza, and it's going to give it a punch of truffle flavour, okay? And then I've got some nice pork and apple sausage, which has got little chunks of apple in it. It's amazing, and I basically cooked this off yesterday until it was cooked, and it's just crumbled, and we're just going to crumble that over. Now I like to pre-cook my sausage when I'm serving street food. I don't really want to be handling raw meat in the van. You don't really have to cook sausage. You can just take off little chunks, raw chunks, and it will cook in the oven. So we're going to hit that with a little oil, and that's ready to go. So we're going to get our peel. We're going to turn our oven up to max flame. It's holding like 420 degrees on low. We have our peel here. Right. When it comes to the peel, getting your pizza on the peel, put it down the surface, nice bit of pressure. Now there's a few ways you can do this. Now in the van I don't have a lot of space, okay? So I do like the scoop method. So that's gone underneath it. I know that if I just give it a shove, it's going to go on, okay? But when I'm shoving it, what I'm doing is I'm kind of doing a scooping method where I'm trying to get it to the back and scoop it up, okay? To stop pushing it into all that flour. You see I pushed it into it. See, this is actually really good to show you. You see that? It's picked up a bit of flour there, which I don't want because that's going to burn, okay? So when you're scooping it up, you can just pick it up a little bit and get it underneath, and then you kind of holding it and stopping it from going anywhere. At this point, I need to stretch it to the limits of the peel. So I'm just going to get my fingers underneath and I'm going to crab it. So what I'm doing, I'm putting my thumb just across the top like that, and my fingers are just going underneath, and I'm just pulling it out to the limits, trying not to like pinch the crust too much, just lifting it from under the underside. And now we have a pizza that's at the limits of the peel. Just want to rejig your topping, and that's ready to go into the oven. Going to take it to the oven. Oven is on max flame, look, running at 470 degrees now. I'm going to put it straight down. I'm going to slam it down. I'm going to pull it straight out. So slam it straight down, straight out like that. It might need a little jig at the end, but what you don't want to do is when you go in, you don't want to like push it in and push, because you're going to shrink that pizza back down to a smaller size. So be aware, I am doing this one-handed. So the pizza is in the oven. You see what's happening now? It's starting to rise up. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to guard that flame a little bit with the peel, because I just want it to just leave it alone for a second, just so it sets. And I'm going to just have a little peek. See, we're getting a really nice bake. Okay, so I'm just going to do that once more, heat up the peel. Now it's ready for a full turn. So I'm going to break the seal all the way to the back. I'm going to tilt up one side, and I'm going to kind of do this like tilting action. See, we're getting a really nice quick bake. This is fast. Okay, so it's another quarter turn now. I'm going to have to work fast here. Getting a really nice bake on this. This is going to be like a 50-second one, I think, maybe less. Good colour. Now, the underside is baked, pizza's baked out. Just going to lift it up and spin it in the oven till I'm happy, and we're done. Okay, let's slam it in a box. So we've got a box here. And this one is an absolute banger. So, because I was filming it one-handed, I took it a little bit too far on the crust there. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you the underside of this pizza. That is the kind of colour I'm after on the underside. We've got a really nice bake on this one. Cheese is all melted out perfectly. And this one, although my wife doesn't want it, I'm going to slam it with a little bit of the truffle cheddar. So you see this cheddar? It's got these little bits of truffle in it. So we're just going to grate a little bit on here. Usually I'd put a little bit on the crust, but this is just going to give it a nice little tang and a little bit extra truffliness. And there you go. And also, pizzas look great when you sprinkle a little something on them at the end as well. Today's special. Absolute banger. So I'm going to show you that again. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit this time. You're at a slightly different angle. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring you up here so I can magnetize you to here and point you down, which I think is going to be a good spot. Right, so let's go for this one up here. Same rules apply. A little bit of flour down the sides. Going to cut it out, cut it out, cut it out. Scoop up some flour. Get underneath it, straight up. Nice pull of the flour upside down. Cover your balls. See, it's not quite round. Just going to get it back into a round. Turn it round again. Got a smiley face. Going to push the air to the crust. Bringing it down and up, splaying it out. Spin it round. Same again, using my hand to sort of guide it. Once my hand fits inside, I'm going to flip it up, get rid of all that excess, and I'm going to do this quite fast. You see, I'm not grabbing it with my thumbs. When you speed up, you just literally, it's kind of like this motion. So you're slamming it down, putting it back. Just slap, slap, slap like that. Okay. We're going to make one for Alec, the old weeping chef, because he said he was coming along. So he doesn't have any cheese. So I'm going to make him a meaty wonder. I'm going to put some basil on his one. Going to hit him with a little oregano. We are going to hit him with some mushrooms because, you know, he needs to be getting his 5 a day in. Little onion, which isn't really going to go, but hey, oh, kid down. Going to hit some roni on there. Going to slam a little sausage meat. And going to put a little andouille on there for him as well. Basically, he's allergic to cheese, so no cheese for that man. Right. Same rules apply. I'll peel. On the surface, look, it's gone under, so that's going to go on, okay? If you want, just grab it, straight on. And then fingers, just on the underside, stretch it out. Stretch it out. Same again. There you go. We're at the limits of the peel, slightly over actually, because I like to go slightly over the peel. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go straight to the back of the oven. So here we go. Straight to the back, slam it down, straight out. Always give the peel a little twizzle. It looks cool. Going to turn it up a little bit. And I'll show you this one cooking. So again, doing this one-handed, so apologies if it messes up. So here we go. Here we go. See, it's cooking onto the left a little bit. Actually, it's cooking all the way over. I've got a really nice bake on this. It's rising up, so I'm just going to heat up that. Going to just check. Getting a really nice bake. I'm going to get in for its first turn. Going to break the entire seal of the pizza, lift it up, pivot on the edge, and put it back down exactly the same spot. See, this one's an even nicer bake. I've slowed it down a little bit. Again, checking the underside all the time. I'm basically thinking all the time and just having to manage this cook. Just always having a look at the underside, always having a look at the colour of the crust, the toppings, the cheese. You know, I might need to alter the flame down a little bit if I need it to be in there a little longer, but this is great. So now that's cooked out. I'm just going to spin it in the oven and exit. And there you go. Look at that. Absolute beauty. That's more the colour that I'm after on the crust all the way around. So slam it into a box. And there you go. You get the light on that. So you get really nice colour all the way around, really nice browning. I'm not one to go in for too much for the leoparding. This is going to taste better than those little black spots that are going to make it bitter. So that's it. So, let me just talk to you quickly. So, hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully you enjoyed that. A little small video, a little bit of making, a little bit of baking, a little bit of showing you sort of how I open a base, take it from a box, stretch it, and what I'm kind of looking for when I'm doing it. So if also, let me just spin this round, if you are wanting to spin a pizza, okay, best thing you can do, right, so what I'm doing is when I've got this in here, I'm using the edge of the oven as a pivot point, okay, and all I'm doing is I'm tilting one side down, and I'm doing this motion, okay, tilting one side down, letting it grab, I'm coming out and I'm pushing it back in, okay, and it's just that motion. Now you can practice this like at home. You can use like a tortilla wrap, just anything that is like round, essentially, like a bit of cardboard, anything you want. You can practice this like on just on the edge of a worktop outside, wherever you prep your pizza, even in your oven. Like when your oven's cold and off, give it a practice thing. It's going to give you a really good idea of the space of the oven and kind of like how to use it and stuff like that, and how to spin in there. So tortilla wrap, if you want to weight it down a little bit, go and get like a shop bought Greek flatbread or something like that, or even just make your own and then use that, okay. Also when you're making pizza, like always make enough dough just for a couple of extras and bake them and then let them cool down and then practice with them as well, okay. Because the worst thing you want to do is on a Friday night when you've spent ages making the dough, 24 hours, 48-hour dough, whatever dough you make, okay, what you want, you don't want to just give yourself like 2 shots at it, because the first pizza is like your first pancake. It's kind of getting to know the oven. It might work, it might not. So what you want to do, give yourself at least like 4, maybe 6 shots at it. Even if you only need 2 pizzas, like if there's just 2 of you, make enough for 4, make enough for 6. Cook some extras, okay? You can put them in the fridge, eat them the next day. You can even freeze the whole pizza and reheat it. But what it's going to do, it's going to give you a base. It's going to give you something to practice on in a cold oven. So the next day, just literally spend 10 minutes just giving it a practice, watch some videos, rewatch this video, watch any of the other ones, and just have a go at like spinning it in the oven or on a surface, and it will just click. You'll soon get it. Same goes for stretching as well. You can stretch like you don't have to be stretching dough. You can buy like silicone pizza discs, which are for like pizza acrobatics, spinning them up, which is also fun to learn. And you can use them. You can use a tea towel, like literally to do that slapping motion, okay? And you will get it. It will come. Even like I said before, a tortilla wrap, just anything that's round, that's light, that's kind of like dough-like. But anyway, hope that was helpful. Thank you very much for joining me yet again. And yeah, take care. Bye.